The worst part about starting this big crazy experiment of ours is that I know it's way downhill for the next couple of movies after this one. Hey everyone's Aaron.
And I'm Michelle.
And this is an insane idea that I'm already regretting. But yes, everybody out there, ever since Avengers Infinity was announced for April, they've been going, okay, I'm going to watch every single one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. All 18 films leading up to this. And we've done that for the past 2 Avengers films.
Yeah.
We went to like the big movie things where like you would actually sit in there. Like for the first one, we were there for an entire freaking day for like 12 hours at the theater up until the midnight premiere. And for the next one, for Age of Ultron, we went to the movies and we were there for literally over a day. There were people sleeping on the floor of that theater.
I actually went home and slept.
You left at one point in time to go home for it, and I stepped out during Thor: The Dark World and got a sandwich. I was like, I can't, I don't need
yeah, it's like...
So we were like, I don't know if anybody out there would be insane enough to do another theater experience.
Yeah.
Especially the theaters, because it's like, how much would we have to fucking charge these nerds?
to stay in here and
to make it worth our time holding our theater open for 2 days straight. So what we're doing is in the week leading up to Avengers Infinity, most people will space this out over a month. Some people have been going one movie a week since the beginning of the year. We are going to just cram it all into the final week.
Because we're dumb like that.
Yes, and also I've been very busy and haven't had time. So I thought, you know what? We've done post-Geekout reactions for all the ones since Civil War. I think that's when we started doing post-Geekout reactions.
Yeah, so you think we're going to do it up to there and then...
We might keep going because there might be new stuff that we think about these films. I don't know if we'll do it for Black Panther because we just did that one 4 months ago. But we might... But it's, in all honesty, it's like, why not just keep going up to Black Panther? Why have that be the one that we don't watch?
We wouldn't really have much to say. It's like, hey, it's good. All right,
thing,
bye.
Yeah. See you last comment. But yeah, so we're starting the beginning, and you guys are going to join us as we just give you our post-Geekout reaction to each of them. And we're starting, of course, with Iron Man. Now, unlike with the normal post-Geekout reactions where we kind of like give you a review as well as our discussion about, we're kind of just gonna be talking half about the movie itself and half about like our memories of like when we saw like what this could mean for the upcoming film, like how does it feel looking back on it now. And I gotta say, it still holds up to me.
Yeah.
But not as much, mostly because Iron Man to me was kind of, in many ways, like actually all of the Phase 1 Marvel films was kind of the end of the beginning of the superhero films in my mind. Because you watch Iron Man and it's really good. It's fun. It's got, Robert Downey Jr. is like just oozing charisma in every scene. It's got great characters in there. However, it's still just a superhero movie. And these days, it's like, yeah, it's a superhero movie, but, what else you got in there? It's like, is it a superhero comedy? Is it a superhero heist film? Is it some weird, crazy space thing going on? Is it a superhero film that's making really strong political messages?
Well, this one kind of is.
There are bits of that. I will say that. That's one of the reasons why this still holds up so well.
Yeah.
It's not just, I'm Iron Man now, everyone. No, there are still messages in there. But you watch this and it does kind of still feel like, oh yeah, this is back when all you wanted to do was just see a dude suit up in a costume and go out there and save the day. You didn't go, yeah, what else you got?
Yeah, honestly, it's like watching
simpler times.
Yeah, it's like, oh, those were the good old days. Like,
oh, it makes me look back at it and it's like, wow, we've come a long ass way.
Yeah, we have come a long way, but it's like, oh, things were so nice and simple back then. Now we need more. It's like we're
yeah, that's the crazy thing. Nowadays, if a Marvel film on Rotten Tomatoes it doesn't crack like 90%, it's like, oh, boo, disappointment. It is insane to me to think like if this came out again, I think this still really holds up.
Oh yeah.
But if this came out today, people would be like, yeah, this is a really basic ass superhero film.
Honestly, it's the Independence Day theory. Like, basically, like, it was the big thing back in the 90s, but if it came out to recently, like the sequel did, no one really cares about it. Like,
man, that'd be an interesting experiment, because I loved Independence Day when I saw it as a kid, but I think if I saw it today, I would think it's probably dumb. So I have thought about what I would think if I went back and saw it. But this one, man,
it still holds up, yeah.
I was still kind of dreading it going in here. I was like, oh man, last time I saw it was like, what, 3 years ago when Age of Ultron came out? And it was still good then, but, maybe, especially after the last couple Marvel films, because, like, Spider-Man, Civil War, Black Panther, Ragnarok, they have been on a fucking streak since then. Yeah, it's really good. Still really damn good.
Yeah, it's like, sometimes people forget, like, where Tony Stark began. Like, everyone just sees him as, like, the big, smarmy...
That was the craziest part of watching this.
Yeah, like, the big millionaire who can do anything and, like, has all the toys. And it's like, but this is where he started out, and it's, like, actually kind of refreshing. It's like, oh, yeah, he's kind of human, actually.
That's the craziest part of watching this, is that, like, listen, I'm laying all the cards on the table now. Of course, we have not seen Infinity War yet, but I will bet money... he's dying in this. Like, I would not be shocked if, like, this or Avengers Part 4, which the Russo brothers are saying is its own film. It's like, brother, you shot that back-to-back with this one. And originally it was announced to be Part 2 of this one. And in all the trailers, we only see Thanos with 2 of the Infinity Gems. Which, granted, he could still collect the other ones throughout the film, but unless everything we've seen from the film is within the first half hour of it, it'd be kind of weird for him to just end up somehow being able to get the rest of the gems. So I was like, yeah, man, who you kidding? Part 4 is Part 2 of Avengers Infinity War. We all see this coming. So I will gladly bet money that he is either dying in 3 or 4. In Infinity War Part 1, Infinity War Part 2. One of those two. And I was watching this and I was like, wow, this is kind of weird, like, seeing like this is his history. But yeah, you made that great point there about, like, thinking about what he is now. And it's like, ever since, like we said, the last time that we watched this, it was right before Avengers Age of Ultron came out. And looking at since Age of Ultron, we've seen so much depth to his character in Civil War, which wasn't even his fucking movie.
No.
But Civil War, we got to see, like, the history of his parents, and also him, like, going, I have to actually take some freaking responsibility. But then in, like, Spider-Man, we got to see, like, yeah, he's actually now, like, he's no longer the guy figuring stuff out. He's the adult in the room. He actually has matured. He's actually now giving the lessons to other people. Like, wow, yeah, he has, like, hit that spot. And it's kind of gonna be his show in Avengers Infinity War. So yeah, looking at him back then during all this, it's crazy. Also, I should point out, this is the 4th time I have seen this movie. The first time I have ever seen the opening of this film. Because first time that, when this movie actually originally came out, me and my friend showed up late to the theater, but only by like a second. We got there the second that the bomb landed. And no. So like, we didn't miss much. But then when we saw it for
Age of Ultron?
Not Age of Ultron.
For the first
Avengers, you asked for popcorn and soda, and I was like, yeah, okay, I know this movie, I'll be back. I went back, and when I got back, it was literally at the scene when the bomb landed, and he looked and saw it, and I was like, oh, okay, sure. And then with Age of Ultron, again, I went and got snacks as soon as it began. This is literally the first time that I saw him in the Fun V.
Yeah.
Like, talking to everybody. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of, wow. I saved like one little treat for myself. All for 10 years, I saved that one little bit of this movie for myself. Which, it was a great way to open this film.
It is.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty dark. Like,
oh, the way that, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how quickly things go bad with that.
And
but
it's like,
also, like, him in the cave itself. If you don't know anything about Iron Man, like, if you went into this cold, like, I know what happens to him, but if you go into this cold, the moment of him ripping the bandages off, and he's now a Frankenstein monster under there, hooked up to a car battery keeping him alive, holy crap, that's dark.
Yeah.
Which, again, man, my dad is not really a fan of superhero films, but I remember buying him this for his birthday one year. I was like, no, you're gonna like this one. And he came back and was like, I love this film. I want an Iron Man suit. I was like, good. I found the one that you like. Nice. I like my dad would like a lot of other superhero films, but it's like, I know it's not his genre, so I'm not ever going to try and force them on him. But this one, I was just like, I get the feeling this is one you're gonna dig. So yeah, this film, it is, I was about to say starkly dark, but no.
Or darkly stark.
Darkly stark. Yeah, it can get really dark at times, and as you mentioned, it does have a lot of, like, really strong messages in there, and I forgot how strong the messages were in there. I'm working on a video now where I give, like, ratings and reviews to every single one of the films, like, just ranking them from my favorite to least favorite, and I was talking about how Iron Man 3 was the first one that really kind of started to make really hard political messages, but I was like, you know, this one, we all know, hey, war profiteers are bad, but didn't really paint Tony as just, I'm the war prophet here. It made me forget. It's like, no, they actually kind of like go into like the logic behind like his reasoning for everything that he does. And that's something that actually does kind of make it a deeper message. Oh, man, yeah, that actually is really strong. And also, man, it's crazy for me to think that this is how the cinematic universe began.
Yeah.
And this is an insane experiment of theirs. Like, these days, cinematic universes, hey, if you don't have one going, then you're left behind. This is the thing right now. Everyone's doing this. It's a big money-making plan, and everybody loves them. But you gotta remember, back when this film came out, that was freaking insane. That was something that nobody could think would possibly work. Like, and I, as a comic book fan, grew up wanting that. I kept waiting for the day that we could get something like this, but I realized that is a huge risk on the studio's part. And just watching this, I honestly think that 50% of the reason, I will gladly say, about 50% of the reason why this movie works, but also why the Marvel Cinematic Universe is a thing, why it exists, is because Robert Downey Jr. is so goddamn charismatic in this movie.
He is Tony Stark.
Man, again, speaking as a comic book fan, so many times they will change things for the comics to try and make them more like the movies, and all the comic fans always hate it. They throw their hands up and go, oh, why are you trying to do this? But there's sometimes when it works, and I'm sorry, Tony Stark was fucking boring in the comics before Robert Downey Jr. came on board, and Robert Downey Jr. went, what's his personality? Cool, I'm going to crank that up to 30, alright? I'm going to turn that way up. And yeah, man, he's not like making up new stuff for Tony Stark. He's taking the stuff that did define Tony Stark, but he is adding so much more charm and wit and just a unique like personality behind it that really did enhance everything that made Tony Stark a character that's like, yeah, man, this is what we want. He nailed it. This is honestly, it's easily in the top, I would say, top three best actor to superhero like performances. Like, it'd be hard. I can't think of who the other two would probably be, but I mean, it's up there. So yeah, it is insane to me that like him just being that freaking likable, and also the Iron Man suit itself just being that damn cool.
Yeah.
It's the thing that made people go, I want to see more of this. I don't know what this Avengers thing is, but if it keeps me to see this guy over and over and over again, I'm down with it. And that is freaking incredible to me that they were able to pull that off. Also, we should... Oh, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, like, if the Avengers, like, MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, started off with a different superhero instead of Iron Man, do you think it would have had, like, the same impact, or...
If it started off with, like, say, Captain America, I think it would have, because Captain America, you know... Chris Evans and Haley Atwell, and they're both really darn good. If it started off with Thor, I don't think so at all. Because Thor doesn't even feel like a superhero film.
No.
Thor is like a god it's Doc Hollywood, but with a god. Like, I think people would have watched that and not even realized it was a superhero film at all if that was the first one that came out. If you would try to start with Hulk, Hulk, a lot of people say, is like one of the weakest of the cinematic universe, and I have to kind of agree with them. But also, like, we have been getting Hulk movie after Hulk movie.
Yeah, but
and if
like...
you suddenly came in and said, hey, we've got this plan called the Avengers, people would have been like, what is going on here? Like, yeah, I think this was the smartest move. Partly because, but again, it's not like they went in here and went, we're going to use the name brand of Iron Man to sell this. Because at the time when this movie came out, no one knew who the fuck Iron Man was. No one did. Not even, like, Don Cheadle replaced Terrence Howard in the second film. And he said, yeah, before that movie came out, I thought Iron Man was a robot. Like, he had no idea who, like, he knew the name. That was it. Peach. Oh, Peach is your bone under there. Hold on, Peach. Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. Yo, slobber.
So stay on the carpet so you don't make as much noise.
Shh. Pretend you're in the quiet place.
She'd be dead by now.
Oh, yeah. We'd have to put her in that little oxygen box in that movie. And she would chew her way through.
Yeah.
The dog is down there, for anybody who doesn't know. But yeah, also, I gotta say, I think that so many people talk about how the Marvel Cinematic Universe has bad villains. I like Josh Brolin as Obadiah Stane. Also, it was really weird going back 10 years and thinking, oh my god, this was before Josh Brolin could only talk with a Southern cowboy accent. Like we went back that far that every word out of his mouth wasn't just being said like this. I forgot that version of Josh Brolin existed. It was really good seeing that again.
And I was like, he is a good villain, but I think he's a good one-off villain.
Yeah, he's not a continuous.
No, but it's like, yeah, it does depict like.
And he was the villain he needed in this.
Yeah.
Buddy, come on now. Come on. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I'll pick you up. Hey, it's Peach.
Yay, Peach!
I'm Peach.
I am Iron Pop.
Oh, that's something else I gotta talk about. Man, okay, there was something that I knew that I want to talk about at the ending of this, and I totally forgot, but now you remind me. It's that, hey, buddy. It's that, again, like, this was just a very standard, like, yeah, it's a superhero film. Yay, but it's a good superhero film. Yay, everybody likes that. At the end of this film, which is like, so it's just gonna be my bodyguard, which is what the story was for decades in the comics, in which it was like, oh no, Iron Man is his bodyguard. Oh yeah, it's fun. Everybody believes that. The end of this film, the fact that they just ended on, screw it, I am Iron Man. It was like, you don't do that in a superhero film. Clark Kent doesn't end Superman by just going, yeah, everybody, it's me. I'm Clark Kent. I'm Superman. Batman never finishes a movie by just taking off his cowl and revealing himself to the world. This was insane that they did that. And it did make you go, wait, what's going to happen next in this? And I love that they didn't follow it up with anything, then just credits. That was a great move for how to end this film.
Yeah, and it's like, it does open up for the Avengers, because it's like, how do you keep the Avengers under wrap?
Which it does. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Because yeah, at the end of this, when the very first of these post-credit stingers comes in, and you just have him walk in, which I gotta set the scene for this. When I saw this in theaters, me and my friends, we would always stay until the end of the credits for superhero films because we were like, yeah, they might put in some kind of a joke or some kind of a reference for what the sequel might be. Who knows? But I mean, back then it was not a thing. It was not expected that everybody does this. And but we decided, let's do it. And again, they didn't do this in film back then. So we were the only ones in that theater. And this was still at a day and age in which the internet was not like it is today, where there's your bone, where the internet is not what it is today, where...
Oh, Peach, you silly girl.
Thank God you guys don't have smell-o-vision, because her breath is funky.
Yep. She's got that nasty puppy breath.
She does. But yeah, the internet back then was not what it is today, where, oh my goodness, you have to see this the moment it comes out, or else then people would be spoiling it. We saw it 2 or 3 days after it came out, and no one had said anything, and I think it's partly because nobody knew you stay until the end of the fucking credits for this thing. So yeah, when it got to that point, and we were sitting there, it was like, okay, maybe there's gotta be a thing. And yeah, I just loved, we watched it right now, and it didn't hit me until this time, the 4th time that we watched this. It starts black. The credits end, and it's that black screen, and then it slowly fades into the dark room, and I went, this isn't, again, most Marvel stingers these days, bam, credits are over, we knew you were waiting for this, everybody. They treated this like a surprise. People in the audience would be like, all right, I guess there's not going to be any, what? Oh my God, Peach, get your bone. So yeah, when that comes up, and then Nick Fury is there, and again, I was just sitting there, and was like, wait, what's going on? Hold on. And then we just hear, I am Iron Man. And me and the other buddy of mine who read comics, we knew about Ultimate Nick Fury and how he was based on Samuel L. Jackson. And the moment that you hear the very distinct Samuel L. Jackson voice, we were losing our mind. Yes, we were, buddy. Sorry that I blooped you on the nose with my elbow. Because, yeah, when Phil Coulson pops up in here originally, and he's just like, I'm with the Strategic Homeland, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I don't know what that is. Whatever. And then it wasn't until the second time they said it in here, it went Strategic Homeland. Whoa! It took that long for it to hit me. And I don't even know when the second time they say it in here is. Maybe it's at the end when she's going, oh, so report to the Strategic Homeland. Wait, whoa, I know this. And then he just goes, it's S.H.I.E.L.D. I was like, oh, I know that thing. Although it is kind of weird now these days, watching the Marvel films and their cinematic universe, and it's like, yeah, S.H.I.E.L.D. has been around since World War II. Like, Peggy Carter started that thing, and it's like, it took them all the way up until this moment for them to come up with what that would or it's like, wait a minute, you guys have known what shortened to what it was for like 60 years. Why didn't you just tell her we were S.H.I.E.L.D.? Yes, buddy. But yeah, I remember when he said that, I was like, oh, that's cool. You know what? You had to put S.H.I.E.L.D. somewhere. You're not going to give S.H.I.E.L.D. their own movie. Because this was back during the time when, yeah, cinematic universes were not a freaking thing. So I was like, alright, you know what? S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't going to get their own movie, so you're going to put them in someone else's movie. I can see you putting them in Iron Man. And, oh man, what if that means one day we could have Nick Fury pop up in here? And I'm thinking of like the David Hasselhoff Nick Fury, like that made-for-TV movie they made. And then when you heard Samuel Jackson, there was like, oh, get the fudge out! Oh my god, they actually got him for this. They actually got him for that. And then he says, do you know, you think you're the only superhero out there? And basically the thing that he is pitching to him is, we have been keeping this shit on lock for so long. And then your arrogant ass had to come in here and just go, yeah, everybody, it's true. I'm Iron Man. Yay, superheroes. Now it's all in the fucking open, and you just opened a can of worms. And when you look back on it, like now, 10 years later, and you look back on how this started the idea of superhero cinematic universes, it kind of works.
Yeah.
Because again, before that, all the superheroes were separate. This Spider-Man was never going to meet the X-Men. The Fantastic Four was never going to meet these characters. This was never going to cross over with this. Batman was never going to meet Superman. Never. None of this stuff was ever going to happen. And then you have this one come in here and it just goes, yeah, I am Iron Man. And then it's like, well, I guess now you all have to meet. Guess what? We were keeping your asses separate, but now you can't shut your goddamn pie hole. So you're going to have to come and meet each other, and that's that. And it's like, oh yeah, sure, you can kind of interpret it like that. It's like, you know, kind of indirect commentary on the state of superhero films up until that point. It's really damn cool. But yeah, I'll say one other thing about this film. It is weird looking back on this and being like, this is a really simple movie. It really is, like, because he only suits up as Iron Man, like, officially, like, once, goes out there, gets revenge on the guys who tortured him a little bit, saves a small town, then he comes back, and then he suits up to fight the big guy at the end. And I was just thinking about it, I was like, wow, compared to most other superhero films of the time, you know, we would get like montages of them going around saving the day, but this was just like, no, we know what we're doing. Yeah, that's it. That's all you get. It's like, it's kind of all you needed in this. Kind of worked. Robert Downey Jr.'s appearance in here is a little bit odd, though. It's another kind of like holdover from that period of time of superhero films, because Robert Downey Jr., yeah, he looks good in all the Iron Man films, but in here, in like the opening, his goatee is so firmly trimmed. It is like shockingly firmly trimmed. I was like, this is like a holdover from back during the day of superhero films when it was like, we have to make them look exactly like the character in the comic, which was like a 50-50 thing. Like, half the superhero films out there were like, we have to make them look exactly like the comics, and the other half were like, we can't make them look anything like the comics because that stuff is stupid. This was the one that came in here and was like, yeah, we're going to make him look like he is a drawing. Like, his face, like, his hair, his goatee, it looks like someone went in with, like, inking and did like, some inking lines on there. Made that, like, very sharply, like, trimmed to be perfect in that way.
Like, they had, like, a stencil and that's just, like, shaved it.
That's what I'm trying to think, yeah. Exactly, it's exactly what it looks like. But you look at, like, the later films, even towards, like, the later half of this film, and it was like, nah, just have him look in a comfortable manner. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Robert Downey Jr. owned this role so much that it was like, we don't need to make the comic look like Robert Downey. We don't need to make Robert Downey Jr. look like the comic. We need to make the comic look like Robert Downey Jr. But yeah, so we're off to a really strong start. I really still enjoy this film after all this time. Peach really wants to play tug of war. Peach is losing her baby teeth, and she is desperate to get stuff in her mouth and just tug on it. But yeah, I'm working on a list in which I'm talking about like how I would rank all these films, and it's really shocking that this one for the longest time was in like the top 3, and Marvel has just had such a good year in the last year that yeah, it's not even in my top 5 anymore. But that just speaks to how good Marvel is these days. But yeah, like I said, the sad thing is I know what's coming next, and it's like 3 of the worst.
Yeah.
Again, I've said it many times, I don't think Marvel has made a bad film, but they've made a bunch of
Okay ones.
It's
mediocre.
All right. It's fine. And yeah, Hulk, Iron Man 2, and Thor were all pretty. It's okay. It's fine. But yeah, so make sure that you come back for those. And this is all, of course, leading up to our official post-Geekout reaction and review for Avengers Infinity War 1 week from today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Come back next time. Bye.
Bye.